So, good afternoon, and God bless all of those that will tune in to this video sometime today. I just want to make sure that my lighting is the par. Let's see. Okay. So God bless all of those that will be tuning in to this video. So we talked about yesterday, our video was titled, It is Well. That is still the subject, that it is well. It is well with our souls. It is well with our lives. When I'm talking about the believer, because we go through so many, let me pull this up. We go through so many, seasons in our lives where we do feel like we're spinning our wheels at times. We could feel like we're spinning our wheels. Just make sure this is tight. We can feel like at times, the Lord is not hearing us, or you can feel like, when is my change going to come? We're coming from the world. We're coming from Egypt. We're coming from death, and God is trying to bring us into his marvelous light. And we are going through these testings, these trials. We're going through this sanctification process. That's what we're doing. We're going through a sanctification process. And with that sanctification process, we don't realize most of the times that we are being made. We are being made in this process. And so a lot of it, we feel it, so it affects us. It makes us feel sad. It makes us feel disturbed. It makes us feel out of place. And it's because we don't realize that God is, I just want to check my sound. Okay. So we don't realize that God is doing a work with our hearts, with our minds, with our souls. We can't understand that. So me going through things in this life, I feel it as a believer, because you do come into the faith feeling like, is this what Christianity is? Is this what I'm to expect during my entire walk? Is this what faith is? Because we only, in our nature, we only want good things to happen to us. We only want good things to happen to us. And so because of that, we don't like pain. We don't like suffering. We don't like going through things. We do want for God to make this thing plain and simple for us. One of my sisters ministered on Thursday as we were in our collaborative live. And one of the things that she said was, we do want God to just give us the system, so that we can follow the system and reward us for keeping the rules. But one of the things we don't understand, and the children of Israel are an example of that, is you can't keep them. You can't keep them perfectly. You can't keep them in a perfect way. The law was perfect. There was no discrepancy in the law. There was no miscommunication or misinformed information in the law. The law was holy. The law was perfect, but we're not. In our nature, you're not holy. In your nature, you're not perfect. And so because you're not, you're going to try to find loopholes to the laws, to instructions, to commands, to a system. You're going to try to find your way to get around what's actual. I don't know. That doesn't entirely make sense. Maybe if we do it this way, then we can make this law be a little bit more advanced, give it a little bit more wiggle room, right? That is what man does with instructions. They want to give it wiggle room. They want to try to find a way for it to not just be so strictly the book. So although man wants a system, man doesn't want a system. Man wants to be God. That's really the issue. Man wants to be God. They want to be able to establish their own laws. They want to be able to do their own thing. They want to be able to have their own way of doing things. So yeah, they might want a system. They may want God to tell them, okay, do this, and that. Check. You got it. But they're going to try to find loopholes to making that fittable, workable for them, because, our sense of right and wrong that we got from the tree tells us that that's too strict. Lighten the load, right? The children of Israel come to Solomon's son Rehoboam, and they want, because it's strict, it's right down the middle, it's black and white, there's no discrepancy in it. This is what they were to do. This is what Solomon established. They come to him after Solomon dies. They come to Rehoboam and say, make our yokes lighter. Like, lighten the load that your father put on us. Make that lighter for us. And Rehoboam, he hears the old men's counsel. Okay, how should we answer this people? What should we do? And they told him, listen, if you serve these people, they'll serve you forever. But if you don't, if you make it harder for them, they're not going to. So he hears them. Okay, fine. He listens to those that are his age group that grew up with him. And they said, listen, make it harder for them. Make it harder. Tell them if they think that was bad, just wait until you see this. And he listens to that counsel. He listens to that counsel, right? Because the people want the load to be lightened. They don't want it to be strict black and white. I don't care what kind of system man is trying to look for. They are not necessarily trying to look for a black and white system. They are looking for something they can follow that they can change. Is this changeable? Can I change these words? Can I change? That's what they do with words, you know? Changing the meaning of words, changing the meaning of things. Can we change this? Can we make it fit for humanity? Right? Because God's laws are so strict. God's laws are it's just so cutthroat. How can we make this workable for us to actually live by? Because, you know, no one's perfect and we all fall short. We all have sin and come short of the glory of God. So how can we make this workable? That's the problem. So it's hard for us to accept life as a believer and not feel some sense of this is an unjust life. Like, why do I have to live this way? And so I can't say it is well with my soul if I feel like everything that's been thrown at me, man, this is against me. This is against me. This is against my life. And why is God letting me go through this? Right? The children of Israel, like, we don't have food. We don't have water. Like, man, what to God? We died in Egypt. Like, why would you bring us out here to die? We should have just died in Egypt. They were already beating us to death at some point. Many of our people died from the beatings. It was just too much. I mean, you brought us out here to die from hunger and thirst. At least while we were in Egypt dying, we were able to eat. At least I had my last meal. At least my grandmother had her last drink of wine. At least my grandfather had his last whatever, right? At least I had these things. Because no, this affects me. This affects me. You're letting me go through this. You're taking me through this process. Man, hey, he says, be of good cheer. I've already overcome the world. How can I be of good cheer, Jesus, when I am being attacked, when my life is being threatened, when I'm going through these things? How can I be of good cheer? You tell me, Jesus, you tell me, how can this be any better? How can this be good? How can this be good? No. You got to say it as well with my soul. It is not well with my soul, Jesus. I feel this pain. I feel this turmoil. I feel this attack, this affliction, I feel that it disturbs me. It disturbs me. But what about the fact that it's for God's glory? What about the fact that it's for us to give God praise? What about that? What about that? So we can't accept that it is well. We can't accept it because it's, for me, it's about me. Looking at the circumstances, going through this life, I feel it. Jesus, you don't feel it. I feel it. Give me a second. Let me grab my notes. I feel this, Jesus. You don't feel it. So how can you tell me to accept the fact that this is well with my soul when you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand what my life is like. You don't understand my childhood. You don't understand it. You don't understand it. So we can't accept that. We can't accept that it is well. And so because of that, it's easy for us to say, you know what? I'll stay in church, but I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do any of that. Right. So the example, the Shunammite in, let me see, 2 Kings verse 4. Let me get to it. All right. Let's see here. 2 Kings. Yeah. This Shunammite woman. And she is, she's one of the sons of the prophet. So let's see, not 2 Kings 4. Let me go to it is a Shunammite. Verse 8. It's 2 Kings though, chapter 4, verse 8. And it fell on the day that Elisha passed to Shunem, where was a great woman, and she constrained him to eat bread. And so it was that as oft as he passed, he turned in thither to eat bread. And she said unto her husband, Behold now, I perceive that this is a holy man of God, which passes by us continually. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall, and let us set for him there a bed and a table and a stool and a candlestick. And it shall be, when he comes to us, that he shall turn in thither. And it fell on that day that he came thither, and he turned in unto the chamber and lay there. So this woman, she has perception, and she makes decisions off of that perception. She perceives that this is a holy man of God. And so she wants to assist. She wants to be of assistance for him. So she builds him a little chamber in her house, or on the top of her house. However she does that, for him to be able to have a place to lay his head. So this woman is very careful for Gehazi and Elisha. Very careful for them. She does meet his necessities as it relates to sleeping and eating. She does do that for them. And so now Elisha wants to do something for her. Elisha wants to speak a blessing in her life, And so he does. She doesn't have children, so he tells her she's going to have children. And in her, for her, she's content with how her life is. I'm hot. Let's see how that works. She's content with how her life is. She's content with things being a specific way. She doesn't have kids. She's not looking for kids. And it's been so long. Her husband is old. Hey, we haven't had kids this long. I'm pretty content with my life. So Elisha tells her, you're going to have a son. And she's like, don't lie to me. I don't like disappointment. I rather not even put myself in position to be disappointed. Don't lie to your servant. Don't lie to your handmaid. So she does though. She indeed has a son, and the son at this point, I don't know how old he is, maybe 12. He's a lad, and his head hurts. His head hurts him. And so he tells his dad tells one of the servants to take him to his mom. He lays on his mom's lap. He dies at some point after a few hours. Her composure. Let me get to this. The woman's composure. Verse 19, let me see. Verse 18 of chapter 4. And when the child was grown, it fell on a day that he went out to his father to the reapers. And he said unto his father, my head, my head. And he said to a lad, carry him to his mother. And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon and then died. And she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God and shut the door upon him and went out. She didn't fall out crying. See, this is, and I was talking to the Lord about this the other day. Like, Lord, I don't want to be in love with anybody else but you. Because I'm not saying we shouldn't love people. I'm not saying you shouldn't make yourself available for people. I'm not saying you shouldn't do for people. I'm saying if you are in love with people, so that's an emotion that I don't think that we should be allowed to have for people. In love, you can love a person deeply. But in love, that's another level of love, because then you're going to feel like you can't live without the person. You're going to feel like you absolutely need the person because you're so in love with them. I said, Lord, please, I don't want to be in love with anybody. I don't want to be in love with anybody on the planet. I don't want to be in love with anybody. I only want to be in love with you. Because nobody besides the Lord should be able to move my emotions, interrupt my emotions, cause me to shift in my emotions in a moment. Nobody should be able to do that but the Lord, as it relates to, just different emotions. Nobody, I don't care, a husband, a wife, kids, friends, nobody. I said, Lord, I need to not be in love with anybody but you, because I thought about that. I didn't think about this story, but it comes to mind what I was talking to the Lord about, because I will make decisions even if that's something you don't want me to make. I'm going to decide things. I'm going to move in a way. I'm going to do certain things. I'm going to say certain things that you might not like, but because I'm in love with a person or a people group or a child or whatever the case may be, it's going to get me in trouble. It's going to get me in trouble. This woman, because she was content. I don't know if she was necessarily afraid. Maybe there was some fear there. Maybe there was some fear there as to why she didn't want to have a child in the first place. You know, children die, you love them, you have children, you grow this connection with them. And then who knows? They can die. People die. They can die. That's going to break my heart. Maybe that was her consideration. I don't know. But she gets it. Something she does not want, that she wants, but she doesn't. She's kind of content with it. She rather not. God gives it to her anyway. God gives it to her anyway. And now, here we are some years later, he dies. She's not all over the place, right? You know, parents, people, you love somebody, you're in love with somebody, and you lose the relationship, or they walk away from you, or they mishandle you, mistreat you, and now you're all over the place. That's why we were in the world. We listen to these love songs because somebody moved our emotions, because we thought we were in love with them, because we don't realize that the word of God says, curses the man that trusts in man and makes flesh his arm. And so now you're listening to these R&B artists and these love songs that just, you're in the room crying because they just did me wrong. They just did me wrong. They just said this. They just ended it. Like, we've been together for these many years. We've been doing this for these many years. And just like that, you just left me like that. You just did that. You just made that decision, right? Emotions are moved. Now your world is turned upside down. Nobody should have that level of access to your heart but the Lord Jesus. Nobody. And so we've got to ask the Lord, like, Lord, you've got to have my heart. Nobody should have access to my heart like that. No, I don't care who it is. Your spouse, your mom, your dad, your kids. Nobody should have that level of access to our hearts. Absolutely nobody. So I said, Lord, I got to be in love with you. I can't be in love with anybody else. Help me to love people in that I'm available as I'm called to be to them. But in love, Jesus, I cannot let people move my emotions, because my emotions my emotions can be so readily moved. They can be so readily interrupted. Yeah, they can. So I had to. So this woman, she doesn't freak out. She doesn't act crazy. She's not bent out of shape. I'm sure she's sad, but she's composed. She holds herself together. We're not talking about faking it till you're making it. We're talking about she holds herself together. She lays him on Elisha's bed and she goes out. Let's look at this. She goes out. Let me see. Yeah, she goes out and she called into her husband and says, send me, I pray thee. She gets permission. Give me permission to go to get one of the young men and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of God and come again. Her husband has no idea what just happened, because the way she's presented herself before him, like it's well with her soul, but it's not well. Your son just died. But that's not how she presents herself. She doesn't present herself, because if God gave me something I did not ask for, something that I didn't really care to have, but God gave it to me anyway. Okay. So, and the man of God did that. Okay. So then the man of God has to fix this situation, and I don't need to freak out because the fact that I had a child, my husband is old. The fact that I had a child, you spoke that and that happened. Okay. I know where to go. I don't need to be bent out of shape. I don't need to cry. I know where the access is for what I need. So she goes to her husband and says, send me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of God and come again. And he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well. Don't worry about it. There's no emergency. It's all right. It's going to be great. It's going to be well. No worries. Hands down. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. The level of restraint and control of her soul. She's not running out, grabbing her hair like, baby, Jimmy, he's dead. No. She lays him on Elisha's bed and she goes as if there's no problem, because to her, no. It's going to be all right, because I have access to the man of God. No, I didn't make him a little chamber with a bed and a candlestick and all of that and a chair. I didn't do that because I want him to do something for me in the latter. And no, I perceive that this is a man of God. I want to do something for him because he's a man of God. If anybody give you a cup of cold water in my name, he will in no wise lose his reward. Yeah, that's Jesus saying that. If somebody blesses you in the name of a prophet because you say you're a prophet, they're going to be rewarded. They're not going to lose their reward. No, I'm going to make sure that they have what they need. This woman perceives that he's a holy man of God and she wants to provide for him. Hey, he's going back and forth. I wonder if he has a place to stay. I don't know, but let's do that for him. Let's provide shelter. Let's make sure he eats. Let's do that for him and his servants. Right? And so she goes to him. The restraint she has of her over her soul. This is a Shunammite. She's not Jewish. She's not one of the Hebrew women. But the level of restraint that this woman has, because if God gave me something I didn't ask for, if God gave me something that I was not looking for, then God obviously is going to make this thing right. So I don't have to worry about it. How often do we worry about things and knowing the God we serve? The answer is a lack of faith. We have a lack of faith. We have a lack of faith. We do not believe what the Lord says in his word, who he is to us. No, we don't know how to be calm. We don't know how, despite the turmoil, despite that situation is out of shape. This is on fire. That is happening right there. And can we still say it is well? Oh no, this is happening. This is a problem. Can we not and just hold ourselves together? Hey, the house is on fire. It'll be well. Because I didn't do that. Because I'm not in control of that. Now, if you're obedient, and even, I have my oldest, he's a very carefree, wild Christian, if I can say that. He has these wild perspectives and things that I'm just like, when he was younger, I'm like, boy, you are out of control with your beliefs, with your mindset concerning faith. Yeah, he asks for the weirdest things. And the funny thing about it is God gives it to him. God gives it to him. Yeah, and when he was younger, I was angry. I used to be angry. Like, okay, so why am I angry now that I'm old enough to understand a little bit of that? Okay, so why am I angry? Is my eye evil because God is good to this little boy? Yeah, just because I had him, I don't get to dictate how God treats him. I don't get to dictate that. Like, man, this kid, wow. So he's now, he's a grown man and he makes decisions literally that the Lord does allow for his feet not to slip. I mean, he can say, I don't have any money, but he always has like, why don't you have money, son? Well, I let somebody borrow it. And I'm like, son, you need to make sure you have money so that you can blah, blah, blah. And he's like, listen, the Lord never lets me go without. The Lord never lets me go without. And I'm like, I don't know what to say about this child. I don't know. It's my child. Sometimes I could feel embarrassed. Like, yeah, this is my kid and people know that that's my kid. And it's like, sometimes it can be so embarrassing that he has this wild and crazy faith perspective. But one of the things he's been saying, and he reiterated yesterday as I was taking him home, he says, worst case scenario, I die and go to heaven. He said, the believer never loses. The believer never loses. If I make good decisions, I'm going to win. If I make bad decisions, although it's going to hurt, the consequences, though the consequences come, it's going to hurt, but I still win. I still win. And I'm like, you're crazy because I don't really want to feel pain, but I had to tell him, I said, you know what, son? I can't even hate on you. I can't even be mad with you because you've been telling me stuff like this for years. And literally all God has been doing is confirming it by how his life is. Like, son, can you not do that? Can you not? Like, I'm your mom. Like, you embarrass me. And the Lord just confirms his love for him. I'm not saying he shouldn't change in certain areas. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I can't think past how the Lord treats him. The Lord loves him. Yeah, treats him like a baby. The Lord loves him. He does provide room for his feet not to slip. I'm seeing this in action. I see it. I get to see that. So this woman, she tells her husband, no, it shall be well. Don't worry. It's no worries, no worries. Then she holds it all together. Her husband doesn't need to see her like that. The young men don't need to see her like that. Nobody needs to see her like that. Not even Gehazi, because he's just a servant. He's just a servant. She holds all of that emotion in until she gets to the one she knows has the access and the key to the answer that she needs. Right? So she goes. So then she saddled an ass and said to her servant, drive and go forward. Slack not your riding from me, except I bid thee. So she went and came unto the man of God to Mount Carmel. And it came to pass when the man of God saw her afar off that he said to Gehazi his servant, behold, yonder is that Shunammite. I'm sorry. I keep stopping because I'm starting to sweat and I don't know if it's that lamp that's doing that. So you might hear some wind, but glory to God, because I'm hot. Okay, so he says to her, behold, yonder is that Shunammite. Run now, I pray thee, to meet her and say unto her, is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with the child? And she answered, it is well. Again, Gehazi doesn't need to see me like this. No. I'm going to hold it all together. Yes, I'm not going to freak out at the house when he dies. I'm not going to freak out to my husband because he might tell me I'm full of emotion and say, you don't need to go anywhere right now. No, you're not thinking straight. Just go sit down. Let's try to figure something out. Let's go ahead and just bury him. Let's just prepare that. No, the man of God. No, not the man of God. No. So she makes like, hey, it's all right. I just need to go to him. Gehazi comes to her like, hey, is it okay? Is it okay with you? Is it okay with your husband? Is it okay with the child? And she says to him, it is well. It is well. Thank you. And when she came to the man of God, I just need you to let me pass because I'm not here to talk to the AI technician. I'm not here to talk to the robotic on the automated voice message system. I'm not. I need to talk. I need to get to the source. So no, everything is fine. That's what you're doing, right? They now have all these robotic, AI intelligence on the phone, trying to answer your questions. Live agent. Tell me what I can help you with today. Live agent. All right. If you want to get to a live agent, please tell me what I can help you with today. Live agent. Enough of that. The system is going to say, please hold while we connect you. Yes, that's all I want. That's all I want. I'm not answering your questions because if I answer your questions, then you're going to try to diagnose the situation. You're going to try to fix it yourself. I don't want you. I want the source. I'm no disrespect to you, automated voice message system, AI technology. I'm not against you necessarily. I want the source. I want the source. That's what I want. So that's what I'm going to go after. I'm going to go to the source. So she does. And when she came to the man of God to the hill, she caught him by the feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away. And the man of God said, let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her. And the Lord hath hid it from me and have not told me. Then she said, did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me? Then he said to Gehazi, gird up thy loins and take thy staff in thine hand and go thy way. If thou meet any man, salute him not. And if any salute thee, answer him not again and lay thy staff upon the face of the child. I don't want to go into all of it because the main thing I want to conclude is the fact that this woman, the level of restraint that she has, is she going through a situation? She's going through a situation that will drive mothers crazy. Right? Drive mothers crazy. Yeah, no. That, my baby, my child. Oh, absolutely not. Drive moms up the river. Drive them up the river. Not my baby. No. Not the one that came from my womb. No, it can't be. Yeah. She's going through. That's a real situation. That's not no fake situation. You read that and you're like, man, you have no idea if you've not experienced the death of one of your children. or just losing connection to your children. You have no idea what that feels like. That hurts. That hurts. But she still was able to stand in front of those who are looking at her, and she could say, it's well. No, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to freak out till I get to the source. No. I'm going to act like it's all good, because everybody needs to know it's all good, because I don't need anybody to try to stop me from getting to where I need to get to, from what I need to get. So I'm going to act like it's all good. Yeah, no. The woman with the issue of blood, it's all good. I'm going to crawl, or I'm going to make sure it's all good. I'm going to act like, no, there's no bleeding here. You don't need to know who I am. You don't need to see my face. No. I'm when I get to the source, then I'm going to cry out. Cause I'm not going to act like it's okay for him, cause I need him to know, cause that's the source. That's the source. Elisha is a resource to the source. He has connections. I don't know. We will hold this thing together until I get to the actual resource that's connected to the source of the source himself. And she does. She holds it all together until she gets to him, and then she lets it out. This is the problem. This is a problem. Help me. Help me. This is a problem. This is why I said, don't do this to me. So what is the Lord doing with her at that time too? Yeah. What does the Lord do with us at that time too? When we come to him, so you've been put together all this time, you get to the source like, Lord. The Lord also wants to strengthen your faith. Hey, you did real well with it being well with your soul up until this point. Your soul is cast down though. Let me give you hope. Let me give you hope. Let me lift you up out of the dunghill. Let me do that for you. Yeah, let me do that for you. Let me show you a more excellent way. Let me do that for you. Yeah. That's what God does. But we've got to be the kind of people that knows how to say, oh no, it's well with my soul. No, it is well with my soul. It is. I don't have a care for anything else. No. I might be going through. I might be experiencing something right now, but no, it's good. It's good. It's good. I gotta be that way in front of people, because no, it really is good. Not because I'm faking it. Not because I'm just showing you that. No. It really is good though. It really is well with my soul, because I already know where my help comes from. Yeah, you might see me crying in the presence. You might see me go into prayer and scream, Jesus, help me. But you know that it's well with my soul, because I know where to go to get what I need. You know, I'm not gonna be bent out of shape. I'm not gonna be in the streets crying and trying to add one cubit to my stature as if I can bring change, because I can't. No, I'm gonna go to the source, or I'm gonna go to the resource. No, it is well. Sister Cinnamon, are you okay? No, I'm okay. Somebody told me, a month ago, one of the sisters was like, you know, the experience I experienced back in 2022 with my second child. They finally asked questions. Here it is, 2026. They're finally asking questions, which I don't mind. I don't mind the questions, but they were like, so how was it for you? How was it for you? And I said, it was horrible. It was horrible. I felt like I was losing my mind. I felt like I was going crazy. Like it was the worst season of my life for me. That's how I felt. I felt like I could not get through it. It really hurt my heart. It broke my heart. It broke my heart to have to go through that. And they were like, you never displayed that it bothered you. Like we could not tell. You came to church praising. You came to church ready to still teach the kids. You came to church ready to still be the prayer minister, still ready to still be the worship minister. You look like you had it all together. Yeah, because you need to know too that when you go through situations, hey, you still got to keep going. You have to say it is well with my soul, but I feel this hurts. That's true. But we do need to be examples while also proving our own hearts. No. It's about God. And if God is going to bring me through it, if he's going to bring me to it, he's going to bring me through it. Like cause everything God is in control of, he's in control of absolutely every single thing. So yeah, I'm not saying I wasn't at home crying my eyeballs out, puffy. Yeah, I was doing that every single day. But when it's time to work, it is time to work. It's time. When it's time to work, it's time to work. Dry those tears up. Dry it up. Clean that nose. Yeah, wipe your face. Rinse your face with some water. It's time to work now. You had your time to cry. You had your time to pray in the presence and cry and ask God, Lord, when is this too shall pass? When am I going to end? When is it going to end for me? And now it's time to work. Oh, it's time to go to church. Okay. All right. It's time to worship. Okay. It's time to listen to the word. Okay. It's time to lead worship. Yep. It's time to pray, lay hands on people and pray. Yep. And they were like, man, we would have never known that you were actually going through, because it's well with my soul. And because it is well, and it was well, God brought me through it. He brought me through it. Is that an ongoing situation? No. Do I have the connection with her that I desire in my soul? No, but it's well. It is well, though. It is well because God is in control. It is well because I'm not God. I'm not God. He's in control. He's going to do whatever pleases him. If the connection never happens, that's God. That's God. It's not me. I can't control that, but I definitely got to follow him. I've got to follow him. I've got to live for him. I've got to ensure that he's pleased with me at the end of it all. Doesn't mean I don't care about people. Doesn't mean I don't want people to be saved. It means I need Jesus and I got to fight for my life. And hopefully as I'm fighting for mine, God sees fit to perfect those other things that concerns me. So it is well. Let it be well with your soul as you seek God today, as you live for him today. Let it be well. Yeah, it doesn't matter the circumstance. No matter the scenario, Jesus is worthy. If he can bring you to it, because he's in control. He gives you your next thought. He puts you in certain circumstances. If he can do that, he can get you out. If he can, because it wouldn't make sense for you to feel like, well, man, who got me in this situation? Like who did this? Who's my problem? Who's my solution? God. If I feel like something else is my problem, I'm not going to look for God for the solution. I'm going to try to find my own solution. Like, where were you when it happened? That's what people charge God with. Where were you when it happened, Jesus? Like, no, I don't want you to show up now and help. But if we respect the fact that God did it, so God can do it and take it away or make it right or whatever, then it'll be well with your soul. It'll be well with your soul. So may the Spirit of God enlighten you in Jesus' name. God bless you.